Test, test, test. Alright, should be back now. Alright, sorry about that. I've gone through the whole thing. Didn't realise the microphone wasn't set up. I do apologise. Alright, let's go. Alright, so my microphone wasn't working there for some reason. It's usually the one thing that definitely works. But I should be back now. Yeah, there is commentary. There is commentary. I'm back. Sorry, everyone. I didn't realise that. I definitely didn't do the old trick of accidentally hitting the mute button. Just the microphone wasn't set up for whatever reason in my OBS. So my apologies for that, everyone. I just did the whole pre-race without any sound. So I do apologise for that. But we should be back and all up and running. I definitely didn't accidentally hit the mute button. I have done that before. Not today. Alright, cool. Should all be good now. Here's I'm Not Jimmy out there, so qualifying getting underway. It's a new name, Nurburgring. Not seen that name before. A few cars out on circuit. Plenty of cars still in the pit. 15-minute qualifying to set the grid. Who else is out there? Drew Stanley, Dan Schneider, Andre Robinson. I always say Alan Robinson, the football player. Ahmed Yuzman, another familiar name. So plenty of familiar names. A couple of new ones I've not seen before. Alright, so who's going to be the first driver to set a time up? I think it's going to be the man on screen. Ahmed Yuzman. So let's see how he goes. He's going to go into the pits. Alright, so I think that will be the Ranch Blaster himself, Jimmy. Where are you? Here we go. There he is on the screen. It's the track temperature, 22 degrees. Very early in the morning, 7:04 a.m. Weather is set to replicate the weather in real life in the region. Makes his way. This is through turn 3. A little bit scrappy out of there, but still alright. Sweeping left-hander, just pulls it in. Straight to the right. Short run down the hill. It's the fun part. See, plenty of overtaking happening in this part of the circuit as well. Run out of there, then it's going to be up the hill through the Michael Schumacher S's. This is through 8 and 9. Looking lovely in that beautiful ranch livery of his. Ranch is still a popular conversation in the Pan Am Discord. Keeps you plenty entertained, that's for sure. Relatively long lap around here as well. So yet to see a car with a time. Looking like Jimmy is going to be the first one to set the time as he makes his way up into the chicane, using all of the curb, throwing it through there. Lamborghini and handling it with no drama. Little snap of oversteer there on the entry. Doesn't upset the car too much. And he's going to cross the line with a 156.4. Kenneth Nurburgring as well. He'll be the next one to come through. So a 156.4 is the time to beat right now. That's belonging to Jimmy. Here's Juan Carres. Ramdani is going to be the next one to cross the line. We'll pick him up. Let's see where he filters out. Up into P7 to start with things here. Here's Juan Carres coming past the line. He goes up into P1. Nice work from him. What about Rowdy Burns? Last round's class winner in the AM. Where did the ranch livery originate from? Yeah, that is a good question. So I do believe, I think it was just based on a discussion in the chat that some people were having, and then it kind of just took a life of its own. I think it's one of those things where it's something that people either like or don't like and feel rather strongly about it on opposite sides of the viewpoint, and it all of a sudden became a big thing, and now it's quite popular. There's even a ranch chat in the Pan Am Discord if you want to check that out if you're in there. So yeah, then the livery came along and it's kind of just taken on a life of its own. So, which is cool. I like it. Ranch isn't really something that's quite popular in Australia. I've definitely probably, yeah, it's more of a North American thing, I would say, rather than an Australian thing. We have it here, but I think it's used a lot for wings and stuff like that, which is a very popular American food. We have wings here in Australia, but it doesn't have sort of the popularity as it does in North America. As we're watching John Cannon. Hey, good to see John Cannon racing as well. So all the graphics that you see every week in, week out, this is the man that does them. So from the podium, the podium finishes, the race winners, the thumbnails you see in the YouTube, the graphics that I use, they're all John Cannon. So puts a lot of work in the background. And he's putting work in right now down there in P13. Here's Devon Anthony, one of our AM drivers. No, Silver Class drivers, sorry. Silver Class, my mistake. Making his way across the line. Tim Tams. Oh, you want to... Yeah, Tim Tams are pretty cool, man. Tim Tams, now that's very Australian. Tim Tams, one of the best ways to eat a Tim Tam is you bite sort of the top off it, and then you dip it in a coffee, and you can like suck the coffee through the Tim Tam. It is delicious. Very good. Not good for the waistline though, if you're that way inclined. Not particularly healthy for you, but my goodness, do they taste absolutely delicious. So good. Alright, speaking of ranch, here he is. Here's Jimmy. He's a second up right now. That'd be good enough for pole position. But we're over the halfway mark. Looks like Ryan Valentine's had himself a moment somewhere out on circuit. That's not going to upset the lap of Jimmy. So this is a very, very fast time right now in that Lamborghini. Lamborghini's filled 3 of the top 5 spots, and the number 1 spot belongs to them as well right now. Here's Satria, currently sitting P7, not going to improve on his time. What about McSharpenberry in the Ferrari? He's down there in P11 right now, half a second up on his best time. It might be enough to move him up another position into the top 10. We'll see. Yeah, there he goes. Who else is out there on a fast time? Looks like Juan Carres. Ooh, I don't think he's going to take pole position here unless he makes up a little bit more time towards the line. He'll get pretty close. 65 hundredths of a second. That's how far away he was from pole position. Chris Rice, he's 3/10 up on his best time. Tim Tams are almost made to go with milk, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely. Tim Tams are kind of just good with anything. Definitely good with ice cream. And crush it up and sprinkle it over the top of your ice cream. Done that quite a few times. And there's a whole bunch of different varieties that they've got now. Chris Rice, 4/10 up. He goes into P7. Nice work from him. What about Trainer? Currently sitting P3, Jacob Trainer in the number 558. BMW, 2 BMWs in the top 5, occupying P3 and P4 right now. I'm not Jimmy. He's in P1. Just a tick over 5 minutes remaining. Setting the grid for round number 6 of the Pan Am Summer Championship. Is this going to be good enough for pole position? He's going to go pretty close here. Trainer. And, eight hundredths of a second. He's missed out by there. So some rapid times coming through Sharpenberry is another one. He's 2/10 up on his best time. Just scanning through the field. So plenty of drivers have yet to set the time. Artem, Alves, Flores, Felker, Vadik, Yuzman, and Eastcott. Vadik, you're in the chat here, mate. You haven't set a time yet. You got to get out there. Australians just better. Tim Tam's, yeah, no, good Tim Tam chat. Making me a little bit hungry right now, although Tim Tam for breakfast is not a good idea. What is a good idea is to put a fast time in. That's what Juan Carres is doing. He goes top of the time, so P1. Nice work there from Juan Carres with a tick over 4 minutes remaining. See a lot of red on my screen right now. This man here, Kenny Smith, he has green next to his name. He's 4/10 up on his best time. That'd be good enough to move him up maybe 2 spots. Andre Robinson sitting there in P6. He's half a second down on his best time. Coming up towards the business end of this qualifying session for setting the grid for round number 6. Coming towards the business end of the season, in fact. So not too many rounds left after this one. I think there's only a couple left before we round out the season for summer 2023. And by all accounts, it sounds like it's certainly been a very, very hot one in North America, especially over the last week or so. Kenneth Smith with a hot time up into P8. What about Trainer? This would be good enough. Oh, he was tracking to take pole position. Lost a bit of time there out of the final turn. Should improve. Goes to the front row of the grid, but just misses out on pole position right now. Sharpenberry is out there, just seeing who is on a fast time. Ramdani, no, I should get on someone. No, shouldn't I? There we go. This is Drew Stanley. He's down on his best time. Let's go over to McSharpenberry. He's coming through the chicane there, the NGK chicane. What do I think of Burakovsky's new livery? All right, I'll have to duck over to it and have a quick look. Finish watching McSharpenberry move up into P11. Burakovsky. Yeah, it looks nice. I think he raced this in the last round. That is a very nice looking livery. Ooh, I like that. That's really nice. Is it Fireside Carpentry? Fuchsia Competition Esports. Yeah, that's a really nice looking livery. The time right now is looking not too bad as well. All the top guys up the front end of the field. Well, Burakovsky, he's roughly in the middle. We'll stay with him for now, but they're all out there, all on slow times right now, so they're just winding themselves up ready for the final charge towards the end of this one. Yeah, the more I look at it, oh, it's Fuchsia. Yeah, Fuchsia Competition Esports. Yeah, that's a really nice looking livery that Drew Burakovsky has got there. 7:26 a.m. So we're seeing the sun starting to come up. 22 degrees air temperature, 22 degrees track temperatures at optimum. Being summer, it's what you would expect in the northern hemisphere. 6/10 up, so this would be good enough for top 10. Whereabouts in the top 10 he sits? 10th exactly. So good run there from Burakovsky. Ramdani is significantly up on his previous time. Let's see where he comes out. Sitting P22 right now. Alves, Flores, Felker, Vadik, Yuzman, Eastcott. They are all still in the pits and yet to set a time. Felker is the only one of those names mentioned who's out there attempting his run. And Ramdani goes up into P15. Juan Carres, our pole position sitter. He is setting a time right now. 1:54.930 is the best time. Vadik, you made it for him. I kind of thought that might have been the reason for the prodding. That's a very, very nice looking livery there, Vadik. It's a lot of work going into that. Hopefully we can see more of it during the broadcast, but very, very, very nicely done. Very nicely done. Here's Carres. Just he's dead even with his best time right now with 55.49. Sorry, 54.9. Coming through. That's turn 11. to go on board with him. I've actually been to this circuit before. I've actually driven around it and gone for a lap on the Nordschleifer. Yeah, very picturesque area of the country. It's a long drive to get through. Here we go. So he's a 10th up, Juan Carres. He betters his time. I'm Not Jimmy is the other driver who's in contention. He is 2/10 up, 3/10 up, almost 4/10 up. Could this take pole position in the dying stages of the qualifying session? He's 3/10 up. Sorry, I thought he was closer to the finish line there. He's coming up through the NGK chicane right now. Still 3/10 up. This could be pole position here. The Ranch Blaster, if he can hold this time, he just lost a little bit of time there out of the final turn. Can he get on the front row? At least he does. Trainer is down on his best time as well. Schneider, he's 3/10 up on his best. That'd move him up a couple of positions. We've gone to 000, so these are the last remaining laps. But I'm Not Jimmy put in a stellar time there at the end. Just got pipped by a couple of tenths by Juan Carres, and Trainer was the other one. But it's Juan Carres. Congratulations. He takes out pole position. He is going to be starting things from P1, the front of the grid. I'm Not Jimmy will be there in second and Trainer third. In terms of silver class, Burakovsky, he is going to start there. He's in P10, so he's first in class. Chris Rise, second, and then Devin Anthony. For the AM, it's Valentine, DeBarros, and Burns is the top three for the AM division as well. So nice, good qualifying session there. And that's the grid for round number 6. So we'll be back very, very shortly. I'll take a quick little break here. Once the server gets all set up, we'll be back. So won't be too long, be just a couple of minutes. Make sure we come back on time. You won't miss a thing. Be back very shortly. Just still waiting for the room to be set. So just hang in there, everyone. Hopefully, won't be too much longer. All right, we're back, everyone. So, where are we? All right. And here we go. So grid right now. Oh, that's a good one. So Juan Carres is starting from P1. So it'd be good to see him and Jimmy going at it. Good to see Jimmy up there as well in P2. And you got Trainer starting on the second row of the grid in P3 with Artem. You got Drew Stanley there in P5. He'll be there with Galandi Hackey. You got Andre Robinson starting P7th. 8th is Satria. Kenneth Smith, he'll begin the race there from 9th position. Burakovsky, we've mentioned a few times already. That's a pretty good look at the livery there that Vadik has put together for him. Chris Rise there in silver class, so he's second in class right now. 11th outright. McSharpenberry joining him on the grid in 12th position. 13th is Ramdani. Devin Anthony, he'll be starting there from 14th. 15th is Dan Schneider. Rodney Felker, he's going to be starting there from P16 for Team 484 in the Mercedes. One of four Mercedes in the field today, this evening, this morning, wherever you are. Sean Vinson, didn't see him really in qualifying there in P17. 18th is Nandava Valentine, the first of the AM runners, joined by DeBarros there. Brad Lee there in the 666 Lamborghini starting 21st. 22nd is Rowdy Burns. John Cannon managed to get himself up to 23rd. And then Mateus Alves in 24th. Lud Flores. Oh, what's happened, Lud? He's missed the start there. Vadik, 26th, 27th, Usman, and 28th is Jeremy Eastcott. So we are about to get the cars off the grid. There they go. It's Carres making his way off. And then, what was it? So I think Hackey and Usman had a qualifying ban, but I see Hackey up there in P6, so not too sure what's happened there. Usman definitely didn't qualify. He's down there in P27, so this is some late information that I had coming through, so maybe that might be looked at post-race. Nonetheless, we are not too far away from getting this one started. On their warm-up lap, it's 8:04 a.m. Track is at optimum. It's 23 degrees. Air temperature that matches the air temperature. Air and track temperature are the same. Drew Stanley, Fever Dream. Like that livery. It's quite catching. What about Hackey as well? Galandi Hackey in there as well. Andre Robinson. Cars on this grid. It is a 28 car grid. We've got a couple in the pits. Lud Flores and Sean Vinson. They've both missed the start. That is quite a shame because, man, I love the livery on this car. It's a great looking car. So hopefully we will see him out in the pack somewhere as well. So he's going to have to start from the pit lane. He and Sean Vinson both missed the start. Sun starting to peek through. No rain forecast. Possibly just a little bit of cloud cover. It's looking very good right now, though, for weather-wise for the race. John Cannon, Bentley. Gee, I think that's the only Bentley. You don't see too many Bentleys anymore. You don't see too many Nissans either. So we've got a couple of oddities in this race. Jeremy Eastcott, watch out for the charge from the rear of the field from him, and then Usman bringing up the rear of the field. It's going to be a Porsche versus a Lamborghini. Oh, how crazy will the chat go if a Ranch Blaster wins the race? That could be... You'll never hear the end of it, I reckon. So we're going to find out. We're 60 minutes away. So we're back to the sprint format after the Enduro at Paul Ricard. Was it last week? I think it was. Here we go. Sun shining. We're about to get round number 6 underway. Juan Carres and I'm Not Jimmy at the front of the field. Lamborghini and a Porsche. There's 5 different manufacturers in the top 5. There it is. Looks like Jimmy got a nice little jump there as well. Carres closing in on him. So far it's Jimmy leading down into turn 1. Looks like Artem got a good start in there as well. And they're all going to file through into turn 1. Oh, that was, I think that was Cannon. Oh my goodness, it's been chaos at turn 1. Let's quickly go back. To do at the end of this one, but Carres leading them away from I'm Not Jimmy, Artem, Stanley, Trainer, Hacky as well as they all come up. Oh, Bradley is down there in the 666. Rodney Felker just scooting past there as well. Robinson looking to get a move done on Hacky there, down there at turn 7. But it's Juan Carres who's managed to get a clean start here, pulling a half a second gap already on Jimmy. Artem in there as well in the Audi. It's your top 3 so far. Stanley getting a little bit out of there. Hacky. Robinson's in there. Ramdani as well. Valentine has made up a couple of spots. He's already into P10. Highest of the AM drivers. Schneider tucked in behind him. Looks like Eastcott getting a move done. McSharpenberry losing a couple of spots as well. That's Rowdy Burns, the AM class victor from the previous round. Oh, Robinson has gone around. Go back to live pictures now, but it's been a very, very eventful first lap, and this man still leads the way. Juan Carres, Jimmy, Artem, Stanley, Trainer, Hacky, Ramdani, Rise, Valentine, Schneider. Great start from Chris Rice. He's leading the Silver class. Valentine is leading the AM class. Vatic in the Nissan. Going to put a move on Schneider, who's battling it out with Valentine. Oh, they make a bit of contact. Valentine's able to keep going. Vadic's going to try and take advantage of this now as they run down the hill into the left-hander of turn 5, and he's able to scoot through. Schneider looks like he's lost another position. De Barros there running wide on the curbs. John Cannon is in the pits, so I'm not too sure if that's going to be terminal for him. Oh, these two still going at it, De Barros and Nandava. Nandava in the Aston Martin there. De Barros ends up, it just runs a little bit deep there. And that hands it back to Nandava. Back at the front of the field though, it's Jimmy trying to hang on to Juan Carres. It's a half a second gap right now between these two. Oh, what's happened? Jeremy Eastcott has had a little moment there. Oh, and it's all going on in the background. 28 cars out there all vying for the same piece of tarmac. Had a chaotic start already. Looks like John Cannon is back on the track, so which is good to see. And maybe the guys who started from the pit lane were onto something there. Slud Flores has moved up into P24, Vincent P25. So they've managed to get a clean start to begin this one. Alves is coming onto the front straight. Action aplenty here. He's got McSharpenberry tucked in behind him. We're going to head into turn 1. I'll get back to the front of the field in a moment. It's a very, very tricky turn 1. It's a right-handed hairpin. So here's the two out in front. Carres and Jimmy still at half a second gap. So Jimmy, in fact, did the fastest lap of the race in the very, very early stage of the 55.6. It was a tenth faster than Carres on that previous lap. As looks like Alves and De Barros getting it done. And it's very, very tight in the midfield. All these guys are separated by less than a second from 16th to 22nd. Nandava as well. He's all over the back of Valentine. He's got Usman tucked in behind him in P13. Hard to keep up with all of the action that's going on right now. We're only just a tick over 5 minutes into it. What about Trainer? He's in the top 5 right now. He's chasing down Drew Stanley. So the race starting to just settle into a little bit of a rhythm. Have a look at this. This is Burns, Smith and Robinson in 18th, 19th and 20th. We've got Burakovsky just up ahead of him. Oh, what happened to Stanley? Let's go have... of him. I spun across the front of him. So Trainer's got some battle scars there. Has the proof of evidence. Nandava and Valentine going side by side down the front straight into the braking zone. Oh, that was a Ferrari. I think that was Alves there who was just struggling to pull it up. Burakovsky, Sharpenberry. It's a hot zone on the track right now into turn 1. We saw chaos there on the opening lap, and it's continued to provide plenty of action. Valentine has made a little bit of a mistake there. That's at turn 3, so he's getting going. He's just dropped a whole bunch of spots, about 5 positions down into P18, so his race not panning out the way that he wants it. Robinson now sneaks past. There's a Porsche there of Rowdy Burns, the other AM competitor in there. That's Lud Flores as well. Oh, makes a little bit of contact with the left quarter panel. 9.32, John Cannon's going around again. Let's see. Now, all right. Alves looking to put the move on Jusman. Going down the inside. Just the gap out in front, still 6/10 between Carres and Jimmy. Now at 4/10, duck across to that shortly. This is where all the action is. This is what we want to see. Guys all jostling for positions. And I think John Cannon might be out. That might have been terminal, whatever it was. And it looks like we're down to 27 runners at this early stage. Flores making some ground. Burakovsky's, what happened? Oh no! So, silver class. Got a lot of work to do now down there in P24 right now. Just the battle out in front, getting back to it. Carres and Jimmy. Last lap around, one Carres did a 55.425. Jimmy did a 55.567, so about a tenth the difference between Carres and Jimmy. Carres just a little bit faster on that previous lap. Artem is hanging around at 55.260. Faster than the other two ahead of him. It's less than a second the gap. And then Hackey is 4.4 seconds behind Artem. So it's the front two right now, but Artem is definitely hanging around in there looking to make it a trio, but right now it's the two out in front, Carres and Usman and Alves. Let's see. Let's go. And away he goes. Alves, so you can see on the front of his car. Artem's just gone the fastest lap of the race right now as well, so 55.330. That's 3/10 faster than the other two cars ahead of him right now. So that gap just hovering around about a second between him and Jimmy. It has stretched out a little bit further between Jimmy and Carres to 7/10. It was hovering around about that 4/10 of a second, so we'll definitely monitor that for you. In the meantime, though, we've got so much action in the mid-pack and towards the rear. Guzman looks like he's gone around. This is Andre Robinson battling it out with Alves. They made a little bit of contact. We've seen plenty of that already in the first 10 minutes of this one. Going into turn one, and Robinson, they're still rubbing panels. That's Kenneth Smith. We just want to pick up any scraps that might fall his way in the number 357 Lamborghini. But yeah, this has been on for young and old. Disqualified, driving the wrong way, car 28. That's Guzman. He's gone into the pits. He is all done. Here's Lud Flores. He's moved up into P18, so starting at the rear of the field. He is now sitting in 18th position. So good start for him. Starting from the pit lane. Out in front, in the top three, still Carres leading. 6/10 to second. 6/10 of a second between Carres and Jimmy. 8/10 of a second between Jimmy and Artem. So that's your two gaps. Just following through on this last lap. So you can see it's at the front three have really pulled a gap. They're 5.2 seconds ahead of Hackey, who's down there in 4th position. We'll check out lap times. So Jimmy did a 55.280, and then Arden beat him 55.232, and they both went faster than Juan Carres on that previous lap, as Drew Stanley making his way into the pits. So a relatively early stop. That might be to repair some damage possibly as well. Eastcott, bumpy ride through there, but it looks like he's got the job done on Rowdy Burns as well. So this is with Alves right now. We go on board. He's got Nick Sharpenberry sending it down the inside of turn one, and it's done without any drama. So nice work from him. Let's go back to the front of the field because the gap has closed up to 4/10 of a second. So Jimmy just finding a little bit of pace, or perhaps Carres has made a mistake. Either way, the gap has closed up out in front, and Artem just drifting back to a second behind Jimmy right now. So it might be a case of Artem will start thinking about strategy. Does he have the pace to hang with these guys, or will he try and make a move in the pits? I have to wait and see. Flores gets the move done on to right now at the almost quarter way mark of this one. Jimmy now looming ever larger in the rearview mirror of Juan Carres. The number 69 Lamborghini. Is he going to be close enough to launch a move here into turn one? Not quite. Oh, Carres runs a little bit deep. They're going to go side by side through turn two. Jimmy looking to get a good run. All over the back of him now. He was 3/10 faster on that previous lap. So So Carres perhaps just struggling a little bit. Maybe tyre wear right now. Not too sure. We're almost at the quarter-way mark. Vadik putting a move. Oh, so this is Chris Rise and Vadik down there in 6 and 7. So Chris Rise having a great run. This is for the silver class podium right now. So Vadik leads silver class, Chris Rise in 2nd and Schneider in 3rd. And they're 6th, 7th and 8th outright right now. So they're all running line and stern at the quarter-way mark of this one. And still the gaps continue to expand and contract at the front. Jimmy all over the back of Carres. Artem's closed up the gap now to half a second. Was sitting at a second moments ago. Burakovsky putting the move on Eastcott. Go back to live pictures. This is Smith and McSharpenberry back out in front though. Here's Jimmy. Carres doing a great job of defending. I think that's his line through there, so it's not necessarily running deep. That's just his preferred line through turn 1. And then you've got Artem as well, so this is his view of the front two battling it out. Flores though, I think he made a little bit of contact there with Devin Anthony. You're down there in 14th and 15th, and then Vadik as well. He's running it hard with Ramdani there in 5th and 6th. And Vadik able to sneak it through there, so having a good run right now in the Nissan. So here's Jimmy. Scott. There's the view from the rear of the Lamborghini. That's Matt Artem in the background there. And there it is. Dip it, dunk it. Ranch sauce. Loves it. So I think Carres has just sort of been able to gather it up a little bit now and push that gap back out to 0.6 of a second as it was earlier on. Still plenty of action going on in the mid-pack. We've got 26, and we've lost another one. John Cannon was one of them. I'm not too sure who the other one was. This is Mateus Alves. He's down there in 10th position. Have a look at the front of his car. And then McSharpenberry is looking very, very similar to the front of his Ferrari. Might be a Ferrari thing, perhaps. Here's the Lamborghini of Kenneth Smith. We've got Andre Robinson tucked in behind him, so some great racing through 10th to about 13th right now. Devin Anthony a couple of seconds behind these guys. Chris Rise making a pit stop, so he's coming in into the pits out of 8th position. So we'll back out in front, just keeping you informed. Still 0.4 of a second between Carres and Jimmy, and Artem's dropped back to a second behind Jimmy, so that's where he was earlier on. Lud Flores tucked in behind the Porsche. Devin Anthony, these two have swapped positions recently. Try and go the undercut there. They get a good run. Oh, they make contact. That was a bit of a hip and shoulder. Still continuing to go around the outside of the Porsche. And the Lexus is able to get it done, and Lod Flores moves up into P13. So nice driving from him in that very nicely presented livery of his. One of my favourites. Back out in front. I'll try and keep you as updated as I possibly can. Back to 0.4 of a second. So sort of just yo-yoing right now between about half a second to 0.8. It's like Jimmy makes up plenty of ground under braking through through the chicane and then into the last turn as well. Let's see if he does it again here. It's going to be a case of just getting a run out of there. As we look back from the rear ring of Carres. And nothing doing through there. Let's have a look at Alves, how he's going in P9. He's got Nandava just up ahead of him in the Aston Martin. He's going to duck into the pits. Smith looking at him. Would you believe we're only third race distance? We've had so much action happening in the early stages of this one. I feel like I've had my finger just hovering over the replay button for nearly the entirety of the race. Kenneth Smith trying to make his way through, so he's in 10th. Still got 26 cars. That's why I've got so much action on track. 24 degrees, track and air. Is that optimum? So we've got great conditions. 8:27 a.m. in-game time. So Carres a 55.340 on that last lap. He was 10th faster than Jimmy and 4/10 faster than Artem, who's drifted back to 1.1 seconds between him and Jimmy. Here's Robinson, so Nandava coming under attack here by a Lamborghini and a Mercedes. Lud Flores just lurking in the background. Smith trying to send it down the inside. Ends up losing a position there to Andre Robinson. Oh, it gets a little bit squirrely out of the chicane. Lud Flores is going to duck himself out of it. He's going to head into the pits while these guys continue on. They will continue hostilities to begin another lap. Speaking of another lap, this is so Jimmy continuing on. So one Carres has done a great job to keep Jimmy at bay. Artem has just been hovering between half a second to a second behind Jimmy. So he's hanging in there with these guys. In the meantime, we'll get back to the action here because this is all kicking off between Robinson, Smith and Anthony. Barros is in the pits now as well. So is Lud Flores. So just keeping you updated on pit stops. Look at the side of that car. That's got plenty of battle scars right now in the early stages. So we're over a third race distance, not too far away from the halfway mark. I'm not Jimmy. So once again, makes up a lot of ground at the end of the lap, but just can't quite get a run up the front straight. We've seen this a few times. Will this be any different? No. And then from behind, there's Artem in there as well. Alright, so I feel like the race has just started to settle down a little bit. Just started to... And there's Smith ducking into the pits. Wrong one. There we go. The Mercedes driver do. have a look down the inside into turn 1. Nothing's doing. And Dava takes the opposite line and goes alright with it. Arden now is as close to Jimmy as he's been in quite a while. 4/10 of a second. They've got a little bit of lap traffic coming up on them right now. Sakares has got someone in front of him. I'll try and work out. Oh, is that? I don't think that's like Flores. Try and work it out. Who's the car he's got in front of him? I think it is. He would have just pitted. Oh, he runs wide. Yeah, it was. And that didn't distract Carres either. Sometimes your eyes can end up following the car that you've got in front and you do what they do. Robinson looks like he's managed to move past Ren. So far, just taking a look at pit stops. Oh, and then Dava just made the very, very late. Oh, he changed his mind. So he decided now is not the time. The gap between P1 and P2 just hovering around about a second. Arden is closing up behind Jimmy. Last lap around, Carres did a 56 flat and he was faster than both the guys behind him. This is Devin Anthony around Dava. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide there. That was Burakovsky just slipping through there as well. This is in 9th, 10th and 11th. Those guys very lucky to keep it moving in the right direction. And Devin Anthony looks like he made up a spot there, so moved up into P10. Quite a few number of cars. Robinson coming out of the pits. Valentine is in there. Eastcott is in there as well. Oh, what's happened? Ramdani. Oh no, so he's come undone. Wall there. Back to live pitches. And back to the front of the field. Get a nice shot there of Jimmy enjoying some ranch sauce. These three are covered by about 1.5 seconds between P1 and P3. Trainer sending it down the inside of Burns. So he gets the move done and he moves up into P15. So Trainer has completed his pit stop. Oh, what happened, Sean Vincent? That is at, I think that's at the final turn. Back to live pitches. He's coming into the pits. What a good opportune time to do so. He's almost halfway. And the gap is once again just stretched out to a second between Jimmy and Artem in third. As Carres continues to lead this one as he has done from the very start. Took pole position and hasn't moved from P1. Here's Jimmy making his stop. Will Artem follow him in? Yes, he does. So second and third have pitted. The big question now will be, will Carres decide to respond? This is a bit of a pressure pit stop here as well. They're going to have to hit their marks. Karas has continued on. Flick over to him to see if he decides that he'll respond to them or he will go longer. There's no pit stop window here, so he has the choice to continue on for as long as he wants. Jimmy hits his spots. Artem has to go through, which is always a bit awkward, and they're both stationary. Just trying to see what the pass score is as Robinson, he goes. Make the most of his time. He makes contact, so there's Jimmy's going. Yeah, he's done. And then Artem, oh no, he had it in reverse. What are you doing? So Matt Artem going the wrong way in the pits, and that is kind of easy to do as well. And Jimmy continuing on. So 1 Kares. What was their pit stop time? 1:01 to Jimmy, 1:08 to Artem. He had that unfortunate put it in reverse. Tell you what, you're a bit stiff that I actually caught that on camera. So here we go. Will Kares decide to pit? Let's see. He made a little bit of contact with Andre Robinson, and there he goes. He's in the pits. So the gap right now is at. Oh, this is going to be super close. This is going to be super close between Kares and Jimmy. Kares gets down to the speed limit. Once again, this is a pressure pit stop here. Gonna have to hit his marks. Oh, there's another car in the lane. Will he have to drive through them? Not too sure. No, he doesn't. So it's a nice clean run and stopped. Car 296. That's to be Sharpenberry. He gets a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. In the meantime, this is the man that we want to keep an eye on. So Jimmy in P7 after his pit stop. 1:01. Kares has been in there for 44 seconds. Right now, here comes Jimmy. This is going to be super close. Coming through the final turn. Kares still not moving. He drops now. He's going. There he goes. Jimmy is going to be coming through. I think this is going to be super tight. It is super tight. And Kares is right there. So that's Devin Anthony next to him. He'll be a little bit vulnerable here in the early stages of the lap because Jimmy will have all his tyres up to pressure. Brakes nice and warm. Devin Anthony is a little bit of the meat in the sandwich right now. This is doing Jimmy no favours whatsoever. And this is for position, so Anthony is not, he doesn't have to give up the spot. This is for position. Although Anthony hasn't pitted yet, Jimmy has and Kares has as well. Goes down the inside, and that's a move for position. And now Jimmy is going to give chase to 1 Kares. So great job from Kares. His pit stop was 1:01. So was Jimmy. So he nailed it. They both nailed it. Artem, though, unfortunately, at 1:08. So he's a little bit further back from these guys in P6, 6.6 seconds down the road. So he's in for a bit of a lonely time, I think, for a little while until this one bunches back up again. We're over the halfway mark. And it's 1 Kares who's essentially leading this race. Vadik, our race leader, he decides now is his time to pit. He makes a stop. And here's essentially the race leaders right now. Burakovsky will inherit the lead unless he decides to pit. No, he doesn't. So in that very nicely liveried Lamborghini, he will continue around, but he is yet to make his pit stop. These two drivers have 1 Kares and Jimmy in the number 69 Ranch Blasters Lamborghini. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Nothing happening into turn 1. .296 clears their stop-go penalty. That was McSharpenberry for speeding in the pit lane. And they'll continue on. Jimmy continues to hunt down. He's going to be sick of looking at the rear wing of Juan Carres by the time this one's over. Carres has done a great job though to absorb all the pressure from behind. And he's continued on. Hasn't put a foot wrong. With 25 minutes remaining. He started P1. That's where he's remained throughout. That's Burakovsky just up ahead. Second and third come through for Burakovsky. I think the only driver yet to make a pit stop is our race leader. He'll probably drop down into around about sort of 12th or 13th, I would think, once he does make his stop. He is leading silver class. That won't last too long. There's Jimmy. We've seen him time and time again. He's quicker in this last part of the lap. As Burakovsky, he's going to be ducking into their pits. That means Juan Carres will retake the lead of this one. And Burakovsky making his pit stop. Vadik is leading silver class right now with Chris Rise while they're second and third. That won't be for too much longer as Burakovsky will tumble down the timesheets once he makes his stop. So he'll probably come out somewhere about 11th or 12th. In the meantime, Kenneth Smith all over the back of Dan Schneider. This is 12th and 13th. Schneider is sitting currently 4th in silver class, but could be on for a podium once Vadik makes his stop. In the meantime, though, he's going to try and have to fend off Kenneth Smith. Drew Stanley. Oh, no. That's at the final turn. Action. Oh, so they've got Rowdy Burns here with them at the moment, who lets them through. So good driving there from Rowdy. Never easy. And the faster guys are coming through. Back to Schneider and Smith. Oh, Flores puts a move on Burakovsky. So he's come out in P14. Lud Flores has moved his way all the way up into P13 after starting in the pit lane. And Kenneth Smith trying to do his best to get past Dan Schneider in the BMW up ahead in P11. Jimmy in the meantime, as we've become accustomed to, all over the back of Carres. What this lap brings. Makes up plenty of ground into turn 1. Cuts the corner nice and hard, and we get the same result as we've seen many times already. So almost at 2/3 race distance. Back to Smith and Schneider. So we've got good action. Plenty of cars still close to one another. Still a huge field of 27 cars. Started with 28. So great attrition rate. I think John Cannon's the only one that we've lost in the Bentley in the very early stages of this one. Schneider might have run a little bit deep there. That opens up the door for Kenneth Smith. He's going to take that position away from Schneider, so he's going to move himself into P11. Kenneth Smith. Nice work from him. Got a couple of other. Oh, Nandava throwing that Aston Martin through the chicane. Sean Vincent. He's chasing him down. They're bet down in 19th and 20th. Where is Gage? Yeah, that's... Where is Gage? Yeah, I don't know where Gage Gonzalez is. He's not around. I'm slightly salty you missed my first win last round. Yeah, I do apologise for that. It was my birthday, so I had some celebrations I was attending. Oh, here's Ramdani. So he's run a little bit wide there at turn 7. That's Smith coming through, so this is going to be for position. And he's going to have to do a pretty good job of holding off Smith. Right now, Schneider in there too. So Ramdani. Oh, and Eastcott. What's happened to Jeremy Eastcott? We'll follow this through to the end. And Eastcott's gone into the pits. So whatever was the issue, he's in the pits now. And Smith has managed to hold that position. And he's still got Schneider tucked in behind him. And Flores is hunting these guys down as well. So his last lap was a 56.6. That was about a second faster than Schneider and about 7/10 of a second faster than Smith up ahead. So Flores has got the pace coming through. Moved himself from starting in the pit lane up into P13. Jimmy is all over the back of one car as they go through into turn 7. Up through the Schumacher S's. And we're into the final third of this one. So it's going to come a stage where Jimmy decides, is he going to have a go? Or is he going to hold on to that podium position? We're going to have to wait and see. In the meantime, the Ranch Blasters Lamborghini is getting plenty of airtime. Andre Robinson is in the pits. Not too sure if that's scheduled or not. There's a couple of cars in there. Eastcott, Guzman and Robinson all in the pits. We'll go back on board with Jimmy. Into turn 1, and the same result that we've seen many times already. They've done a total of 21 laps. We don't count the laps though, we do count the minutes. Here's Kenneth Smith. He's looking to move himself into the top 10 right now. He's got Ramdani in the number 80 Aston Martin up ahead. Just behind them as well, so still half a second the gap between Carrez and Jimmy. Matt Arden, who's in P3. Ramdani gets a bunch of oversteer off the final turn there. Does that provide Kenneth Smith with the opportunity to make a move? He's going to have to go around the outside of turn 1. That is the long way around. Bud Flores as well, looming large there. He's looking to take a top 10 finish. Let's go on board with Smith. And you can see in his rearview mirror, he's got Flores. Lights ablaze. It's still very early morning, 8:49. Too early for a Sunday morning for me, that's for sure. You can see the rear of that Lamborghini's copped a little bit of attention throughout this one. Jimmy still 6/10 behind. Artem, he's made a mistake on that last lap. So not too sure what happened, but he did a 2-minute 02 after the previous lap of a 55.2, the fastest lap of the race. So not too sure what's happened to him there. But this is for 11th, 12th and 13th. These cars are all separated by less than a second. The gap between Carres and Jimmy is now at 8 tenths, as we're not too far away from embarking on our final quarter hour of this one. This has been round number 6 of the Pan Am Summer Championship 2023, and it's been absolutely action-packed. Going on board with Flores, you can hear that V8 roaring. He heads up the front straight, pulls out of the draft. Get a little bit of a tow there from the Lamborghini in front, belonging to Kenneth Smith. He's chasing down Ramdani in the Aston Martin. Last lap around at 57.5. Just to Flores, that was about 7 tenths of a second faster than Smith that he's chasing. Not as and a little bit, and about a second faster than Ramdani up ahead as well. So 3 tenths faster than Ramdani. Two closest cars. These are the 3 closest cars out on circuit. We've got some other battles brewing as well, but just an update at the front. So the gap has drifted out now to 2.4 seconds. There's Carres going in the foreground. That's Jimmy, and then I think you saw Arden. No, I don't think you saw it. There he is. There's Matt Arden there. So he's coming through now. So 1 Carres, last lap around at 55.587. 57.4 to Jimmy, so it gives you a bit of an idea. There's something, obviously a little mistake there that Jimmy's made, which has stretched that gap out to almost 3 seconds with 14 minutes remaining. Kenneth Smith though looking to get away past Ramdani in the number 80 Aston Martin, trying to at the same time fend off Lod Flores. And there's Dan Schneider in the other BMW as well. He's looking to get involved in this little scrap right now. Flores pulls out of the slipstream, looking to go up the inside. Oh, Kenneth Smith. I've seen a few cars just come unstuck there at the chicane. As we go back to live pictures, this is Burakovsky going up the inside, makes a little bit of contact with Dan Schneider. This is a Silver Class Championship leader right now. That's Devin Anthony in the background as well. This is all for position. The fight out in front has really settled down now. It's at 2.7 seconds. The gap between Carres and Jimmy and Artem is drifted even further back, is at 11 seconds, the difference between him and Jimmy. Not long left, 12 and a half minutes. These 60-minute sprint races do fly by. Burakovsky though, he's pushing extremely hard all the way to the very end. He's got Anthony behind him. Going up the inside there, that's Schneider. He's chasing down. Flores. Oh, that was Burakovsky putting the move on. And he manages to get it done. It's good. There we go. Flores. One straight. Ramdani doing his best to keep his grip on that top 10 finish. Turn 1. Oh, not too sure if he made contact there. All's well that ends well. And that's Schneider and Burakovsky coming through, and Devin Anthony a little bit further along in the background. Gap has gone down to 2 seconds, less than 2 seconds between Jimmy and Carres. Carres just did the fastest lap of the race at 55.167. That was about a tenth faster than Jimmy on that previous lap. So perhaps the battle at the front is not necessarily over yet. We've only got 10.5 minutes remaining though. That is, that's Flores looking for a way past Ramdani. So this group of 5 cars, this is 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th. Throw a blanket over them right now. And out in front, it's about 1.5, it's about 1.8 seconds, the difference between Carres and Jimmy. Flores continues to pick up ground under brakes. This is the closest action we've got on the track. Burakovsky looking to get a toe in the BMW. It's nice car positioning there from Schneider. And Schneider will be watching Flores and Ramdani up ahead. He stay with Burakovsky. Gets a nice run out of the final turn. Gets out of the toe. Going to be on the dirty side of the track there. Braking into turn 1. Can he pull it up in time? Flores having a go at Ramdani as well. Burakovsky goes up the inside. Our Silver Class Championship leader makes a little bit of contact with Schneider. And this is for the last podium position in Silver Class. So Vadik is leading. So is Chris Rise in P2. And then Schneider in 3rd. And Burakovsky in 4th. And then Devin Anthony in 5th right there. In classes, Flores as well, looking to go around the outside there. That is a very ambitious move at that part of the circuit, turn 5. It's all happening here. Burakovsky is going to have to keep his eyes on his mirrors as well, because Devin Anthony is looking to put a move on him now, coming into turn 7. And have a look at these 5 cars. Not 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th and 14th, all extremely tightly grouped. 2 seconds, 2.2. Oh, Ramdani goes around. So he had looked a little bit skittish. Might have a chat with about that one after the race. So Ramdani falls back into 14th. So Flores now up into 11th. Oh, that's Devin Anthony doing a little bit of rallycross there. Ramdani will want to try and take advantage of that. Try and get one of his positions back. But here's Lud Flores up in front straight. He's got Burakovsky, who is now in 3rd in class. Vadik is 7 minutes and change away from taking a class victory. Chris Rise, 17.3 seconds behind him. So the fight for the Silver Class lead. Nandava manages to get past. Oh, what's happened to De Barros there? Go. This is Schneider and Flores. So Flores recently able to get past. He's 1.2 seconds away from Burakovsky. In terms of the AM, so that was to Burris. He was leading the AM. He still is. He's 20.9 seconds up the road from Valentine still. So that late race spin hasn't cost him too dearly. And then Rowdy Burns in P23, he's 3rd in class for the AM division as well. So that's where all that sits. Still 27 drivers remaining. It's a fantastic effort. Kenneth Smith and Ramdani battling it out. I think that's Ramdani getting the position back after an earlier scrap. So those two racing it hard all the way to the very end. I don't think there's many cars out there that don't have any kind of damage to them. It's been one of those kind of races. As you can see the front and the rear of that Lamborghini especially. I thought Ramdani was going to duck into the pits there. He's got a flapping bonnet, so he'll be dealing with a wounded car right now with 5 minutes and 20 seconds left. Can Kenneth Smith take advantage of that? They're battling it out for 14th and 15th. The reason we're watching this is these are the two closest cars out on circuit right now. The lead at this stage is held by Juan Carres. So he is currently 2.3 seconds up the road from this man here, Jimmy, who's dealing with a little bit of lap traffic right now. I think that's Sean Vincent just getting out of the way for him. So yeah, it's a 2.3 second lead with less than 4 minutes left from Juan Carres to Jimmy, and then Matt Artem is about 13 seconds down the road from those two. So that gives you an idea of where the outright race lies in the dying stages of round number 6. Smith going down the inside into turn 7. He gets the move done. So late race position gain there for Kenneth Smith on Ramdani. He moves up into P14. So these guys should probably do a little bit of a... So P1 and P2, they stayed the same. Just having a look for biggest movers. So Vatic, he started in P24. He's moved up 18 spots. Mateus Alves, he started in P23. He's currently 8, up 15 spots. Lud Flores has gained 16 spots, started P27. Sean Vincent started P28. He's in 18th. So some big movers and shakers. Alves up 15 spots. Vatic up 18 spots. So there's some huge gains in this one. Who dropped the most? Satria. He started in P8. He's down in P24 right now. As Ramdani and Rodney... Oh, not Rodney Felker. It's a BMW. I don't think that's for position. It isn't, no. Here's Mateus Alves. So as mentioned, he's moved up 15 spots, started in P23. He's got Chris Rise ahead. Chris Rise is P2 in the silver class, so he's looking on track to take another podium. As these two battling it out for 7th and 8th. Rise won't want to give this position up with less than 2.5 minutes left. Haven't seen too much of these two drivers in this race. Felker and Ramdani. That's a position swap. So Rodney Felker gets past him. Haven't seen too much of him today either. To be fair, though, there's been so much action going on around the circuit. Stop go, car number 11. That is De Barros. Oh, that's our AM class leader right now. And oh, he's gone around. Is that at turn 1? And he's done. So oh, he wasn't the AM class leader. He was in P2 in class. This is our AM class leader, my mistake. And then Rowdy Burns will move up into P2 in the AM class. In the meantime, though, Devin Anthony, he's looking to take advantage of the last minute and a half that we have left in this one. He's still fighting it out with Dan Schneider. This is for P12 and 13, and this is for 4th and 5th in the silver class. Oh, Jimmy's all of a sudden made up a whole bunch of ground on Kares. Kares did a 56 flat last lap around, 56.1, 55.2. So 9/10 of a second that last lap around. Jimmy was to the better. And we are on the final lap here. So do we have a little bit of late race drama? Alves and Chris Rice still battling it out, but we might stick with these two. It's at a second the gap. So reduced to 9/10. So 9/10 of a second faster on that previous lap. Kares must have made a mistake. He hasn't made too many of them because he started in P1. He still is in P1. Rowdy Burns. Oh, he was second in class. Ramdani makes a little bit of contact there. I think that's No, it's not Rodney Felker. Who is that BMW? I think that's Satria. It is 8/10 of a second now between Jimmy and Kares. So perhaps just late race stages, tyres and car setup not feeling the best for Kares, but he's only got a handful of turns left before he takes out victory. So it's going to be two different race victors in a row after a hugely dominant start there. There's Alves and Chris Rice from Gage Gonzalez, who was winning left, right and centre to begin the season. Not racing today. Retro Coffin was last round's winner. And looks like we're going to have a different winner again. Jimmy, though, is fighting until the absolute bitter end. 6/10 of a second now. So he's made up huge ground. Oh, Anthony and Schneider. Oh, dear. That's not where you want to be. Juan Cares, though, coming through the final turn. He's going to be pushed all the way until the very end. He started P1. That's where he's been most of the race and just gets him on the line. Well done, Juan Cares. Holds off a hard-charging Jimmy in number 69, Ranch Blasters Lamborghini. He finishes in P2. And then Matt Artem, he had that moment where he reversed in the pit lane. So he is going to finish on the podium in P3. Congratulations to him. Chris Rice, he lost that position to Mateus Alves. So he's in 8th right now. Hackey is coming across the line to take 4th position. Trainer has had a very quiet, uneventful race, which I'm pretty sure he would have enjoyed. He's going to come home and finish P5 in the number 558 BMW. Well done to him. Flashes the lights as he comes across. And class winner, Vadik, takes out the silver class victory. Congratulations. He moved up a whopping 18 positions to do so. So an awesome race for him. He takes out silver class victory. Mateus Alves, he also moved up a bunch of spots, 16 in total. He's going to come home in 4th position. Congratulations to him. So he will take home, P7. 2nd in silver class, Chris Rice. Drew Stanley, 8th outright. 3rd in silver class is Drew Burakovsky, our championship leader, silver class. Started 10th. And finished 10th, so he was involved in a few little scraps along the way. He comes across the line in P10. Up 16 spots from 27th is 11th to Lud Flores. Congratulations to him. What a cracking drive after starting in the pit lane. Kenneth Smith coming home, and then Devin Anthony rounding it out in 13th. 14th Schneider, 15th Felker, 16th is Vincent, 17th Big Sharpenberry. Class leader in the AM is Ryan Valentine, so he takes out another class victory. Congratulations to him. And Rowdy Burns will come home in P2. And there's only 2 AM runners as well. So that is round number 6 done. And that man on screen there, Juan Cares, has taken out race victory outright. Congratulations to him, Jimmy and Artem. That's the podium. Vadik took out silver class. Chris Rice in 2nd, and Burakovsky, our silver class championship leader, rounding out the podium. And then Valentine and Burns took home P1 and P2 in the AM class. Woo! That was fun. That was a good race. There was lots of action there. I think we had 26 finishes, maybe 27. But yeah, a hectic opening stages. Apologies about the sound issue at the beginning. But that's everything. So looking now, where are we off to next? Let me just quickly find out for you before we close this one up. I think it is races. We are going to be going to Bathurst. Hey, cool. That's my neck of the woods. So the next race, a couple of weeks, July 30th July 30th my time would be July 29th North American time. We're going to be in Bathurst for round number 7 before we finish it off in Kyalami in about a month's time. So that's everything from here today. Glad to be back. Hope you all enjoyed that. Retro Coffin, Chris Rise, Vadik was in the chat. Who else was in the chat? I saw some other people as well. We had a nice little chat about Tim Tams, didn't we? That was nice. Mr. Goose was in there as well. And that's pretty much everyone. So thanks everyone for watching. Thanks for all the likes as well. If you are interested, tomorrow night is the Ruse round number 6 of the season. So if you're in Australia, you want to catch that, or you can catch it on replay on the Ruse TV channel as well. I think we're going to be round number 6 is going to be the 100-meter Enduro of Zolder. So if you're that way inclined, jump on board or watch the replay. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Stay safe. Look after yourself.